shoot. All right, I told you it'd get weird. You guys good here?
Yeah, now we've got it. Yep.
Okay, so digital advantage, boom. We've been in the area, let me backtrack a little bit. We've been in the area for a minute. We have the highest reviews in the area, over 45-star reviews from different companies online. Some slack. Yeah. So what online marketing works the best? The search engine strategy. These are businesses right here that are best for search engines. And it's because of the fact that traffic is just always coming in, people searching them on a regular basis. Or why you stand out, And so a lot of businesses where people are the face of their business, like a real estate agent or personal trainer, decision to go to Google and search for those services, but they need some understanding of why they would want the product. Wellness centers have products that are unique, and so maybe somebody's not even looking for the product and they're not on search engines on a regular basis looking for those products. And so an outbound strategy can work for, retail, for like deals and sales. It works for marketing agencies and business coaches. And anytime that you have to educate the market on why you're the top choice, because it's more of a just a educational experience that you have to spin the message to where somebody who doesn't know you is going to purchase from you, and so it's a little different than the search engine strategy. Industries that benefit from both search engine traffic and casting the net on those people always searching, and then also to display why they're the best, or they have a visual appeal maybe, are like landscaping companies, remodeling companies, because people do go to search engines for landscaping and remodel. But also to accent the search engine strategy, you can have pictures of the visual difference that they make, like the before and afters, or different deals and things, or promotions. And so these are examples that work really good for the outbound marketing, going out and getting in front of the customers, rather than laying back on the search engines and capturing them,
Hey, we do have a question. So from Meryl, she's asking, I get the SEO for people searching online, but can he describe outbound? What is it exactly? Is it ads or emails? Or...
Yeah, so outbound would be, and I can get into that in a minute, but the outbound would be, like a social media post, boosting a post, doing social media pay-per-click. It would also be like email marketing. Those are digital examples. I mean, there's mail outbound marketing and different things like that. But on the digital spectrum, it's social media, LinkedIn, places that you post, and where your target demographic hangs out at, and getting in front of them in order to kind of do a sales pitch and convert cold customers that don't know about you into becoming customers, but the main difference is just if they've already made the decision to buy and they're looking for the thing, or if maybe it's something they don't know that they need, like a personal trainer or some type of like wellness product that they just don't know to search for yet. That message has to be taken out into the public where they're at and get in front of them, the one thing, just transitioning, is the one thing that's most important for everybody is to have a system in place where you can capture reviews and get them out on the internet as social proof. What we do is we implement a system that's like a link that we send people, and it's like a thumbs up, thumbs down like this. And if they click thumbs up, it takes them directly to leave a review. And if they click thumbs down, it goes to a contact form that kind of blocks the bad reviews or allows them to vent their frustration. And so it increases the good reviews, deflects the bad reviews, and the building of reviews is really important. So this is one of our clients here. They implemented a reputation or a review request strategy where they sent out to their email list like the link to leave a review starting around May of 2018. And it's just gone up like that. And it's resulted in really high amount of reviews, a high average star rating. And it's just really important because once you do get visible to the public online, it always comes back to your reviews, you know? And
I want to describe what it is that went up so there's clarity.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. So this is the amount of 5-star reviews that came in. And this is just a graph of the volume up until now. Yeah, so it's just how much they were able to collect, how many online reviews they were able to collect in total. This is it's technical. I might do a printout of this just so you guys know, like the lingo. This purpose was just to kind of break down what goes into an SEO campaign, like the workload. More, I just wanted to get across expressing which marketing strategies work for different industries, you know? And, but yeah, so on offsite SEO, what's important is that all of your info is like accurate online. Your address info, your phone number is the same on everything. It's on your Facebook, you know, LinkedIn, all the major platforms. But then there's other platforms like Apple Maps and MapQuest that allow you to fill out a free profile on, and you spread your credibility across like that and on the internet as like a real entity, you know? And the more your address and phone number shows up online across the internet, the more Google's like, oh, this is a real business entity. It's not just somebody trying to rank in Google overnight or something, you know what I mean? Then the on-site SEO is like when you get into the content. Usually this will work for us if we do the off-site SEO, and we'll get number 1 and 2 rankings in Google where they show up within the top 3 in Google just based off this. If we run into tough competition, then we go into the content optimization and like making sure that you're providing the best information that's available in your niche, and like expanding on it more than the competitor is, I guess, is like we just rework it until we've covered more information than all the competitors are, and we become the top pick. It rarely gets down to like that in a local setting, depending on the industry. Mainly it's about consistent of information, activity of your social accounts, like being up to date with like a new post, and just like showing Google that they can see everything. And so showing Google that your entity is like active online and engaging with their customers will make you go to the top in most cases. In this scenario, we went for well drilling service, like these different keywords in Google. So people searching these, well drilling, Thurston County, Washington. And then this is a number one ranking in Google, and then Google Mobile, and then a number 1 ranking in Bing. And then what happens is they get significant traffic from it, and 76% of their traffic is coming from just this keyword down here that they're ranking number 1 for. And it just gets them consistent traffic on a monthly basis. So the average is about 703 visitors per month coming through that constant traffic that's just consistent in the market. And then this is, if you're doing SEO, this is the value that you would have to pay Google for that traffic if you weren't ranked there, and you were just paying through Google pay-per-click, like paying to advertise in Google. But with them ranking number 1 in SEO, get to kind of skip this bill and then just pay us a portion of this amount to be the retainer, you know, to make sure that they keep their rankings. And so it works out good. The organic SEO ranking is the best strategy for the longevity of any business that it's right for. Like I said, SEO is right for certain industries that have the search traffic going on.
Cody, real quick, where's the traffic going to? What's the purpose?
The traffic's going to their website. The traffic that we covered right here is going to their website consistently on a monthly basis. This is the average. And that just converts them to their contact form and estimate process and all of that. So it's people, this is the amount of people that are solely coming off of Google looking for their services and not by brand name. That's also important, is like, this is just off service keywords that have nothing to do with their brand. So it's new discovery clients. And it's people searching well drilling Thurston County, Washington. Yeah, so it's creating consistent lead flow. The other thing that's more important nowadays that like a lot of web designers just kind of like omit is page loading speed. And we've had to connect with some advanced like hosting solutions in order for us to get to the point where we have a 99 score for our websites inside Google, the Google page speed scores. And I'm going to give you a resource where you can test your website page speed score. But what it's coming down to in the near future, coming May of 2021, is all of these have to be a score above 90. Google's going to start looking more at the user experience once they hit your page, rather than like the credibility building type stuff. They're gonna, if people are like going to your page and just leaving constantly, they already do this to a certain extent, but they're cracking down on it in May of this coming year. And so the page speed thing is super important because it's the biggest thing that can make people leave, is like a loading screen, you know? The other is just the organization of the content to make sure that it's user friendly. When it comes to a social media campaign, so if you're not one of the industries that benefits highly from like the search traffic, and you have something that you have to bring to the public to educate on and capture, then you'd probably see better success with social media and doing campaigns where you offer something to the public, maybe create urgency, like for maybe like for a personal trainer, we did like, we're only accepting 10 new clients over the next week or so, you know. Creating urgency is really important to get people to act on social media, because if you don't, people will just forget about it. And so some type of limited plans are always good, you know. And maybe limited discount offers, you know, to the next 20 people, we're giving this discount offer, you know. Also, if you're going out to people who don't know you, social proof is going to be way more important. So the reviews and everything is going to be way more important than even on the search engines in Google, because you're going to somebody you don't know, and they have to feel comfortable that like other people have worked with you and they've had a good experience, you know, and that your experience is going to be good. And usually the technical way we do that is we'll run 3 different ads for about three different ads on Facebook and Instagram, and we'll monitor them for about 5 days and put about $5 into each of them, you know, just little amount of money, maybe like $15 into each of them. And then we take that data and we look at the winner that performed the best. And then you take that one, and that's the one that you add the money to. That's the one that you keep kind of trying to scale up. Then you scale the winner. If you're doing branding campaigns that aren't too like set on, getting a sales conversion to go through like instantly would be a branding campaign that's like you just want as many people to know about you as possible for the least amount of money. And the way you do that is thinking of engagement trends. An example is like for a coffee shop where we did a morning coffee picture, like what's your morning view? And like it was a picture of somebody holding a coffee, and then they would submit their pictures and have an experience with the brand. Another one is like contests of like guessing how many objects are in a container, and whoever's closest without going over wins gift cards or something like that. If you have something that's irresistible like that, you barely have to put any money into it. And it'll take off. Like you put $5, $10 in it and it'll take off to thousands of people locally. And we've done that before. This is a scenario of one of the tests we did. So we spent about $30 on each of these ads right here. They generated 91 clicks, 102 clicks, but the 55 click one was the loser, and the 102 click ad was the winner. And so what we did is we took that one and doubled down on this one right here, and got the price down to 20 cents a click instead of these first test numbers. And then what you do is you can get two winners and compare them against each other. And then you just narrow down your costs by running just a small little test, like with tiny numbers, at first, and then add as you go when you find the winners that are resonating with your market. What we did is just off this ad, we were selling a personal training online program for $197. In the first week with this ad, we got 5 sales at $197. It added up to $985, and then the ad spend was $140 total on all these ads. And so it's just being careful with how you do it. You don't want to blow all your money on an ad that won't work. It's better to get like 3 going and put a little bit in for a couple days and just see how the public reacts. And then this is an engagement ad. This is an example like contest alert. They're celebrating 40 years. This hit 3,000 people in the local area and got 647 engagements for $5. Like that, it was like nothing to just boost it. And
we have a question here about the ad A/B testing campaign.
Yeah.
Kathy Gendreau is asking, what did you vary in the ad, the offer or the images, or what was it that varied in the A/B?
Yeah.
testing?
So that in the first 3, it was the visuals. So they had different visuals. We did a test before that for the copy. And then once we got the copy that we liked, we did a test for the visuals. But what you guys saw was the results from the 3 different visuals. So it was 3 different videos. And we just we figured out which one people were acting the best to when they saw it, and engaging.
That the data is being analyzed, and that's how we're determining, or what the source of determination is.
Yeah. And yeah, so it's just, we figured out which one was the cheapest clicks, and which one had the most clicks, and then took that one out of that and killed the 2 who were too costly per click and weren't developing enough engagement. And so we stopped like losing money on those 2, and then took that winner, scaled it, and then our costs went down even more, And then, and you can do that with the engagement posts too. I mean, really, split testing is easy to do. Like I said, you can even in some cases do $3 per post, and you can see the data that comes in on it, and it's just a safe way to keep your budget safe, And then this is an example of a different way of outbound campaign. This was an ad that was a reactive, like they had an old email list that they weren't using, and we took it and wrote it in a way that it was enticing to people, and it had a 40% open rate for cabin air filter season. And the subject line is what matters in emails. Like in this particular scenario, it was titled information for your health, or information concerning your health. And it was about the fire devastation and the cabin air filters getting clogged up, you know. But it's all about the headline when you're doing the subject line when you're doing email marketing to really bring somebody in. And you know, it's rightly so, because I mean, yeah, there was pollutants and stuff everywhere, and so we were just trying to keep people safe. But yeah, the main thing that I wanted to get down in, because I could talk about strategy all day, you know. I didn't really want to get into too much technical stuff with you guys. I can, but in this introduction, I just our main concern in this time is just like, we don't want people to be getting ripped off, you know, and losing a bunch of money on stupid things they don't need, or energy, or marketing people coming to them saying they need to be blog posting daily, or putting all this extra like baggage on your plate when you already have like tons of stuff you have to do already, along with losing budget, because even without the simple strategy of A/B testing and looking at that Facebook stats, you could, if you neglect that type of attention to detail, you can just dump way too much money into an ad and then just think that it doesn't work, and you would never know that it might have been the avenue that you should have went, you know. And the other thing that I just wanted to get across mostly is just, for each business, it's not just a cut and dry package. Everything has to be done, you know, custom. It has to be like what type of business you are. Oh, if you're a plumber, then there's people going to, you know, search engines the whole time. We can wait on social media. Let's get the SEO in place, and let's get you positioned right to capture that traffic that's there. If you have some type of CBD oil or something and nobody's searching for it online, and you're not gonna be able to outdo the other people in the search engines and that are selling the same thing, then you might want to go the outbound route, which is going and getting in front of the customers, educating them on why they should choose you in the right way, building your social proof to create the ability to convert a cold lead that doesn't know you, you know. Maybe that route is right for you, rather than somebody selling you SEO, or, you know, going to Google pay-per-click when it's like, it's just not right for you, you know? And so, yeah, that's it. If anybody has like any questions or anything, I'm down. I had this slide too from like 3 years ago. It's kind of funny. Let's just say happy Thanksgiving to you guys. But yeah, is there any questions? Let me see. I can't see the chat. I'm gonna
You
go.
mentioned earlier, Cody, that you were going to show us a tool that we could utilize to measure some of the success on this.
Yeah.
Is that something that you can bring up?
Yeah, absolutely. So let me track that down real quick. I'm gonna stop my share real quick and then grab that. Is there anything else?
Yeah, we have a couple other questions. Do you have any strategies for choosing or narrowing the audience in the initial ads?
We're pretty good at copy as it is. So we'll do like two sales copy ads with just a generic picture on them.
And something that's interesting.
A lot of it boils down to experience.
I was just going to say something else that's interesting, and it's just something that
Go
I
ahead.
got caught off guard, is that the term copy is the body text. So,
Yeah.
so something that,
So when I say copy, I mean just the text in the post that is meant to grab their attention and then explain a story like in a short amount of time that will capture them and get them to engage. If we have, we'll run 2 ads at first that have 2 different styles of copy with the same image. And then we'll find the winner of that. And then we'll do 3, we'll take that copy that won, we'll take that written content from the post that won, and then do 3 identical ads with the same text in them that have different visuals. And then we find the one that has the best text and then the best visual. And in some cases, we'll even find, we'll be running 2 different tests at the same time, find 2 winners, and then compare those 2 winners, and find the sole winner in the equation.
So Cody, you don't narrow your audience at all to begin with. You don't choose like a demographic or an interest or anything like that. You just start from 0.
Yeah, I mean, there's technical.
Let me take that on, Cody. What it boils down to is basically experience. It's not that we're going in blind. It's that we've been working with hundreds of clients in order to determine a pattern of what industries or what companies and what industries work well with the type of copy that we're utilizing. The copy is based on experience with working with many, many companies of different industries and understanding what kind of language it is psychologically that the audience is looking for, and knowing that through history, certain things have been effective or not. And we go in with that and then run a test and then narrow that test down.
Yeah.
But for my particular customer that I want to market to, if I know something about them, but I don't know everything about them, where do I begin? Because I don't have that industry experience and I don't have the ability to pay for it. I'm starting, from scratch.
Yeah.
What do I focus on? Where do I start?
Well, you start with your existing clients. And then you look at people that are already, the best thing for anyone, actually, like this is really valuable to anybody, is the best thing that we do is we'll look at who is already at where we want to be. There's ways that you can see the ads that they're running. You can see if they're running ads, and it's free to people. I mean, I can even show that in a separate thing on how to see people's ads that are running. But you can see how long they've been running those ads, what copy they use, and then the best thing to do if you're in doubt is just to emulate the people who you're trying to be like,
But in terms of who sees the ads, so I think we're getting it. I think I'm off topic, I guess, because I'm more concerned about when I place an ad on Facebook and I choose the audience. What's the most important factor to start with?
Yeah, I mean, so what business is yours?
Educational programs for kids.
Yeah, okay.
And I know who my customer is, but like, how do I see, like, are certain demographics looking at my ads more than other demographics? Are people with is there an income threshold, or do I just rely on comparing the ads over and over and over again and let it settle itself out?
Yeah, you could do that. The most you can learn is just based off sales that you've gotten. I mean, you want to gather enough sales initially to reach out and be able to know what type of people your clients are.
Right, and I have that information, but I want to make it better, I guess.
Yeah, and you can get overwhelmed with trying to make targeting of ads like too granular, where it's like you want to put everything in there, and like if the more broad you make it, Facebook already knows a lot of it, and Facebook's algorithm, once it starts getting clicks, is going to look at like who was that and what did they like, how can I get another person that's like that. And so leaving enough breathing room. All I did for the personal training ad that did really well, all I did was just do people who liked gyms, and left it at that. And then I ran another. I was curious about couples like not being able to work out or diet right because it's like 2 people and you have to like worry about that. So I did one for just singles. You learn as you go, and it's like, but yeah, if you don't want to put a ton of targeting, like when in doubt, just leave enough in there to know for Facebook to know what kind of business like you are. And then even if you just did like just couples at first, or people with kids, I mean, or, you know, even if you just like stuck with that,
Leave it broad. That's
yeah,
interesting. Okay.
yeah, because then Facebook is going to do its thing and like kind of figure it out and try and optimize it for you. You know, you never want to step on their toes too much.
Good to know. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, without knowing your business and stuff, I can't really like get too far into it. But it's like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it just comes from your pre-existing customer base, which it sounds like you already established that. Another question that came in that I answered that you could provide some emphasis on in case someone else had some more concern about that topic is they said that Jennifer said she had ran the diagnostic on her website and got a 10 as a score. And how does she improve that score and why is the score important?
Yeah, so we would get scores about around like 30 for like the first 3 or 4 years of our business that when it wasn't too big of a deal. What we had to do is we had to find, we found out that as web designers, we could only optimize the speed so far before it became the responsibility of the actual hosting provider, like GoDaddy or, you know, HostGator, the other ones out there. And we realized that they just weren't providing the right service, and they didn't have the intensity of like doing the server computing side of the deal, because you could optimize the pictures and everything and make them smaller. A lot of the time, like photographers' websites will have full res photos on there when it should be cut out to the right size, and not like huge photos. It can increase the load time. But we really didn't see success until we found a hosting company that ensured that, you know, that made sure that they had their end of the thing, and that they're different animals than web designers. And so we could only speed it up so far until we got through our network, we found the best hosting company in the nation, and they guarantee a 99 score on Google page speed.
Yeah, it starts to get complicated because it's not based on just the information that's in the website anymore. It starts to incorporate algorithms that are utilized in order to crunch the data and make things smaller, so that this way the file sizes are small enough to load fast enough when your device is loading the website. So from a technological standpoint, it's in no way or shape a very simple process to establish. You need the right tools and the right equipment in order to do that. So your host is dramatically going to impact that, but not just the host itself, but what tools are being utilized in order to crunch that data.
Yeah, and it's a new emerging thing that's going to be way more important come 2021 than it is really now. But there's ways that you can go about it, you know. But yeah, our hosting company that we use for all of our websites guarantees a 99 score on Google page speed or money back. And so that's what sold us on them.
Yeah, and we're partnered up with an agency from whom we know the owners directly. And so the hosting agency he keeps speaking of is someone that we have direct connection with. We chose them primarily because they were promising and guaranteeing the metrics they were providing us, but just as well, it allows us an opportunity to be able to directly communicate with our clients and determine that, our vendor, and determine that if there's an issue, we could resolve it, you know, in an adequate timeline.
Yeah, and I mean, we're kind of going down.
If you were. So a couple of quick questions. We did have one question that came to me privately previous to this, and that it's actually on a slightly different topic than this. Are there any websites or ads that you guys can share as an example for them to look at that? And are there all of these Google digital placements and redirects? Are these all Google digital placements and redirects?
I mean, yeah, we have some work we can show you. Our clients are pretty confidential. People like to like keep us a secret, and so I did my best to like show you guys this, like some of our clients. But what we're really good at is getting ranks in Google and getting the traffic from Google. The redirect, I'm not sure what you mean by that.
I think what they're asking is if Google is the only search engine that we're providing these results on. I believe that's the question.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So Google, Google we go for because the other ones follow, you know. If you get a good score in Google and you impress Google with how things are set up, then Bing follows suit, you know. But yeah, for who it's right for, we're really good at ranking inside of Google. And we've set up businesses for like long-term success that way. And it's because it fit their business, you know. Like I said, it doesn't the search engine stuff doesn't always fit certain businesses. And then for the way that the social media works for some businesses, we did good on that end. I'm willing to share whatever. I mean, like we have great results, you know. Our clients average about a 25% growth per year. And that's on our, you know, Google reviews and everything. And
So if you were, I'm sorry, I might be breaking out here, but a couple of tools that you might be able to utilize as a small business owner to determine how effective their host is, what is the wording that you might be able to kind of hone in on to identify who a decent host would be?
Yeah, it's tough to kind of tackle all this stuff right now. But a lot of basic hosting plans, if you go like the cheapest, you know, they're just not set up. A lot of things that happen with like GoDaddy and the bigger corporations is they build up a book of business and then somebody comes in and just buys it out. And then all of a sudden it's managed by nobody knows who, and they just came in and created a whole new infrastructure. And that's happened to us like consecutively, where service has declined on those platforms. And so we had to find we would always run into problems no matter what with hosting. And we had to find a private hosting company to finally like have a direct connect with somebody. And so that we would not run into that problem anymore. And so a lot of them will kind of just like give you the runaround or upsell you on products you don't need. I could put a whole thing together on how to go about picking out your hosting and figuring things out, like what you need. You know, I could put together a whole thing like that. And
what it boils down to, the reason why I'm laughing is that it's not a simple process. There's no like tool to pick your host. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Everything that we've determined when it comes to hosting in regards to like reliability has been based on just utilizing different service providers and having them fail.
Yeah.
But that's why, like he said, like Cody said, that we decided to go with a private practice to enforce that we can have someone that we can work with directly to ensure and guarantee results, because it was that bad, the experience. And I myself, I come from 20 years of IT engineering experience. And so I'm extremely familiar with the IT infrastructure, especially when it comes to server management. And I can tell you for a fact, based on professional experience, that there's really no way to find a reliable host. And particularly, especially because of what Cody said, that it is very, very common in the IT industry, in the technology industry, for companies to be built just for the purpose of being resold for an upsale. And so it is very often that companies are getting consumed by bigger management corporations. And when that happens, a lack of quality begins to happen in the company, and your hosting service experience goes down the drain. And that just seems to be a repeating issue in the industry. So
I want to touch on something as well real quick. We're part of a network of 80 marketing agencies that we pay to be part of this private group. that's how we find out to get how to get over any obstacle that we come across. It's like, that's how we found the hosting that we needed. We pay good money to be a part of kind of a private network of everybody who like helps each other out. So like if I run into a problem, I get in a private Facebook group. I'm like, hey, have you guys ran into this before? You know, have you done advertising for this type of business before? What can we do to start out good, you know? But yeah, we literally had to, build a network like that to kind of get over all these technical hurdles. Cause I mean, I'm sure you guys are familiar with just technology going haywire like all the time, you know? And it's because the lack of service and lack of things working, you know, the way they should, you know, it doesn't always work the way they should. So you kind of have to chase them down sometimes. I mean, that's probably 60% of our job is chasing people down and getting things to work, right? And so anyways, yeah, there's no simple question to that, but I'd be willing to help anybody out to get out of a bad situation, you know?
Kathy Gendrell is asking a question that's technical. How helpful is dedicated hosting versus shared?
Yeah.
So dedicated versus shared, what that means is that when these companies, they have data centers, they have facilities filled with servers, and these servers are stacked on top of each other in dozens or half a dozens. It just depends how big the company is and what their infrastructure is. And basically what shared versus dedicated is that they literally take and allocate the hardware resources, the parts that are inside of one server, they split that up between customers. And so when you decide on whether you want to go shared or dedicated, you're choosing to share your resources with other companies or to have a dedicated like processor, RAM, memory, just parts that can make your website run faster, smoother, harder, whatever it is that you need. Now, to determine whether you need dedicated or shared, that's going to be based on like how your website's performing, what kind of traffic it's getting, what kind of purpose you're using the website for. Is it going to need a lot of traffic? Is it going to get hit a lot? Does it have a lot of data, like files that need to get downloaded? Are you streaming content? Are you selling products? How big is your inventory? It just gets really complicated based on the infrastructure of the website itself. That determines whether you need shared or dedicated. But in most cases, for most people in a small business kind of economy, you don't really need dedicated. And dedicated gets complicated because when you go from shared to dedicated, you now are basically responsible to manage your own server once you go dedicated. So you have to be concerned about updates and backing up and security measures and all those sorts of things. Most hosting companies, as soon as you go dedicated, they will tell you that you need to start managing your own resources.
Yeah.
It's good to know. Definitely. Well, I'd like to open it up for final questions. We're getting to the end of our ScaleUp Mastermind here. Was there anything that wasn't touched on that any of our audience would like to ask right now? Feel free to unmute yourself as well.
I hope I was helpful. I tried not to be too technical or anything. Just trying to keep it simple.
Honestly, I think people appreciate though a certain level of technical.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be brought all the way down to, you know.
And I could do something on a subject and like really delve into it, but I kind of just wanted to give everybody like a bird's eye view, you know what kind of marketing would work for you, you know?
It's good for everyone to know that we are open. We have open doors. So if you want to come to us just to like kind of figure some things out, we are always open to do that. We've done that many, many times for many, many people in the community. If it seems that your business model happens to be too small or too new, we're not going to pitch any kind of sales on you. We're just going to kind of identify how we can quickly help you in a small consultation meeting. This is something that's common practice for us. So don't be afraid to contact us in regards to any questions or anything after this presentation.
Yeah, and I told James this before. We're not the type of business that's desperate for new clients. We're really well taken care of, and we do good for the clients we have. And so we're really coming from a place where we just don't want people to get ripped off in this this era that we're going into. Where digital marketing and your ability to get in front of your customers online is going to become more important. And so, yeah, anything we can do to help.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Cody and Zaire. I do want to just let you guys know if there are any suggestions that you want for the next ScaleUp Mastermind, if there's topics that we're interested in learning about, or that you want some expert insight into, please let me know. And I will make sure to find the people that can address those topics and kind of help guide us through this new age of business that we're doing here. So again, thank you very much, Cody and Zaire from Digital Advantage. This has been the November ScaleUp Mastermind, and I look forward to seeing you guys next month.
All right, thank you. See ya.
Have a good